Hi everyone. So we've got our full moon in Sagittarius happening on the 4th of June at 3:41 a.m. That's GMT time, at 13 degrees and 18 minutes. So wow, we are in the fire realm. Um, at full moon, the sun and moon is in an opposition, which means we are on the Sagittarius and Gemini axis. So this axis is quite interesting because Sagittarius is all about that broader way of thinking and being, the instinct, the passion, the thirst for knowledge and truth. And on the other hand, Gemini is looking for ideas, looking to assimilate, see connections between things, and actually use the logic. It's the thinking realm, it's the air realm. So fire and air. And obviously that axis, there's a polarity because they're opposite each other. So it's like you imagine a seesaw, we're trying to balance these two parts of us. So really feeling into like this fire energy with a full moon, we're illuminated anyway. We might feel extra energy and kind of more excitement at this time. Now, this Sagittarius full moon is asking you, how can you broaden your horizons? Um, how can you be more expansive in your thinking and in your being, right? So if you haven't connected with your bigger vision for a while, like as many of you are in business, what is that bigger vision? Maybe just take some time to connect with it and feel into what is possible for you, where you want to go in the next few years, right? Sagittarius sees the possibilities and the possibilities are endless, right? It's the archetype is great. It's actually represented by a centaur. So half man, half horse. So that half the part of the horse is about being free and wild, and half the other part of a human is that it's that thirst for knowledge, right, and higher truth, wanting to study different religions or philosophies. So you might feel this need to really sink in and study something at this time, or reconnect with something you studied a while ago and you just want to dip into some books or some courses that you've been part of, right? Use this time to do that. um and so it's, how can we be more wild, right? You might feel that the need to go on adventures. This is where the possibilities are endless, right? You've got that friend, and often actually I used to be described as that friend, is that I would just go off and sail into the sunset. This is that energy, that spontaneity. You feel excited about something, you just go and do it. So give yourself permission. There's something you've been wanting to try or something you feel passionate about. Create some space over this full moon to do that thing, and you'll feel so much better for it. But be careful because Sagittarius can be quite to the point, quite brutal. You know how older people get and they have no filter. That can be a little bit of the Sagittarius energy. So if you are communicating your passions and you're, getting fired up, just be mindful that somebody else might have a different point of view, right? So that Gemini axis is helping us be a bit more diplomatic and a bit more using our logic as well as intuition, which is the Sagittarius energy. So, feel into what is that bigger vision that you're wanting to create for yourself? What does it look and feel like? Really connect with that. Maybe you want to get creative and journal about it and just dream up the possibilities, or, adjust your vision board. This is a really good time to do that. And we've also got Moon square Saturn at the time of this full moon. So square is a bit of a challenging aspect. It's a conflict. So we have got this broader thinking energy, but the moon square Saturn is like, okay, but we need to get serious now. those things you feel passionate about, how can you create some structures to help you with that passion? You know, so if it's a new business idea, what structures do you need to put in place to get it out there, right? I've been creating a webinar the last few days with a friend, and it's like, okay, what are the systems we need to put in place? We need to send out emails on these dates and set up the autoresponder and things like that. So it's those tangible things that you might have forgotten. That Saggy energy gets lost in the bigger picture and sometimes forgets about the details. So remember those small details, whatever you're creating at the minute. But Saturn can also represent boundaries. So we may feel, you know, swept up in this passion and these ideas, but also be mindful of, you know, are you guarding your feelings too much? Are you being too serious? Saturn can make us serious. So tune into what it is you need. And the sun is also the square Saturn. So, you know, this question of where do you block your self-expression? And I mean being fully yourself. Are there ways that you stunt it or you shut it down? You know, because sometimes we can get too serious in life, and that's when we need to bring the play back. But Saturn, we need Saturn as well. It's like, okay, what are the boundaries here? What are actually the time schedules? So if you're making a plan, you know, when are you going to create that thing? What's the deadline? So with those ideas, the Saggy energy of getting excited about things, how can you create some boundaries and some structures to help you bring those ideas and possibilities into the tangible world? But also Saturn can be like that inner authority in us, but also authority around us. So, you know, recognizing when that inner authority is speaking to you, because it can be critical, but it can also be a voice of somebody that is not you, right? So Saturn can represent your father figure as well, or your father. So notice, you know, maybe where is it that this figure or this inner authority for you, why did it shut down this self-expression, you being your radiant self? And it's really nice because we've got the full moons in a trine to Mars, so that's harmonious. And Mars helps to motivate us to get things done. So all these ideas and this bigger picture that you're looking at, this Mars is like a bit of rocket fuel to actually get you moving forwards with those new possibilities and opportunities that are kind of really lighting you up, right? So listen to the things that feel exciting and feel alive in you. And then we've also got North Node conjunct Jupiter, which is in so the North Node conjunct Jupiter. North Node is about our soul path, where we're heading in this life. So it's interesting because it works really well because Jupiter's actually rules Sagittarius, which is this full moon. So that Jupiter is almost like shining a light on new possibilities for us when it comes to our soul path. So if you kind of getting a clearer understanding of what your soul path is, I know it's always evolving as we are. Jupiter is like, right, here are the opportunities, here are the blessings I'm going to bring you to help you live that soul purpose, right? So just notice what new things are coming towards you, because that may be a sign that you're on the right track. You know, sometimes we get rerouted to actually get on our right path again. So it's quite an expansive energy. But we have got that in a square with Venus. So it's this sense of we might feel a sense of real purpose, and like we know where we're going in this life, or know what we want to head, that bigger picture that I talked about. but there's also a part of us that's like, okay, let's slow down. Let's just be in this receptive feminine energy and nurture ourselves. So it's because that doing is quite masculine. So just being aware that you're not moving at full lightning speed and honoring that part of you that needs space to just be. So, if you have got all these amazing opportunities and possibilities coming to you, just be mindful that you create small pockets of time for you to read a book, whatever it is, to just come back to yourself. Because that North Node of Jupiter in Taurus is going to want to create a solid plan to, right, this is where we're heading, this is the deadline, what are the tangible steps I need to take to move forwards. Okay, so basically make space to smell the roses in between your fiery, passionate energy that you might be feeling. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's all, but generally it's a really, that fire energy is waking us up again to help us move forwards with as well, like see the things that have come into culmination since the new moon, right, 2 weeks ago. So those seeds you planted, those new intentions and wishes you seeded, just have a look what parts of them are coming into fruition. And it's okay if they haven't all come into fruition, because every cycle brings with it new gifts and new inspiration. But as well, just be mindful of that. This full moon will bring things to the surface, will bring our emotions to the surface. So just notice what is being stirred within you again. And if it's something that's being stirred in you again, really take notice of that, because that's a sign of something that you're probably meant to do, or a direction you're meant to go in. So happy full moon blessings, everyone.